and welcome to the Double Fall Podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Will. I'm accompanied by one of our favorite podcast guests, HUBBS from Barstool Sports. HUBBS, Wimbledon has been incredible, and thanks for coming on to talk the final here.
Yeah, for sure. We get what we wanted once again. Very spoiled. It does seem like this is what we're gonna get for the next 10 years, most likely, unless crazy things happen, because there's a pretty big drop off after these two, with the rest of the tour and with Novak sliding away. So get used to it. It's gonna be good, but get used to it. This is what you're gonna see.
Yeah, and I think this is what people want to see. We just got that epic Roland Garros final that created so many new tennis fans. And now I'm already getting texts blowing up my phone being like, we got it again. Like, we got Sinner versus Alcaraz because there needed to be a follow up. That final was just way too epic of a blockbuster. And now we get a completely different dynamic on grass. It's going to look completely different, but it's still going to be entertaining and it's going to be an incredible watch. So I cannot wait for Sunday morning. But
Yeah, no
yeah,
doubt. Again, the same thing. Texts from people, after that French Open, you're like, "Does this happen all the time?" Um,
I hope so.
you're gonna get. We'll see. It's possible. That was the first time they had met in a Slam final. Here's the second time. And it's what going to be a month and 5 days later or something like that. So yeah, special stuff. I have a really good feeling it's gonna be similar. I mean, obviously, maybe not to the exact extent, but like these guys no one's going to really push each other over. They're going to fight tooth and nail, go back and forth, adjust to their adjustments, and it's a dogfight with these two. And their talent level is above everybody else on the tour. So it's a chess match, basically,
Yeah. And I think my co host in my last episode said that these were the four best players on grass: Sinner, Alcaraz, Djokovic, and Fritz. I think these were the best matchups. Taylor was really right there, pushing Carlos. He had that mini break edge in that fourth set tiebreaker. He was like, the narrative could have changed around that match if he got to a fifth and kind of pushed Carlos in a little bit more. But I thought, yeah, Jannik was so dominant in that Djokovic match. Djokovic, obviously, with that little bit of an injury concern after he slipped on that match point against Kabuli. But I think, regardless of that, like, Sinner just had too much. He just looked like he was playing at 2x speed and hitting the ball way harder. So it's tough to do that when everything that Djokovic does well, Sinner matches and then some. But yeah, I'm glad we got this final. But what were your takeaways? Do you think this is nearing the end for Djokovic, or do you think he's going to rebound and get a couple years out of this? Because I don't think he didn't really make it seem in his press conference like this is the end. He said, "Oh, if my body let me down, I thought I was right there. I had strategy, can learn from this." So I always said that Djokovic can play till he's 40. He's like Tom Brady, LeBron James. Like the longevity and the work he's put in his body to maintain this level is insane and should be praised. So I don't think Djokovic is going anywhere, and I think he is probably like number 3 or 4 to these two guys. But there's a clear divide.
So a couple things. I'm glad he's not stepping away, and that wouldn't seem like Novak. I think he does want his swan song. He'll let
Oh,
you
of
know.
course.
He'll let you know when it's his final Wimbledon. So he's definitely going to do one more round. It felt like obviously tough for the injury. I still don't think he's beating him with the injury, with a clean bill of health. And he kind of spelled that out too. He's like, even like I have to do so much basically to get to this point, and those guys can kind of breeze, and they're so
Yeah.
young, and that's the beauty of being young is like you can recover so much quicker. Where he has to do so much more to get his body right this late in a tournament. I mean, it's a lot of tennis, and you look back, and he actually didn't really get that really long match to screw him early either, which is kind of concerning. Because if you look at Taylor, right? That's a guy you can use, the tired excuse for with 2 5-setters off the jump, and he seemed to get better as it went on. But and obviously, Novak.
And he's in his physical prime though at
For
like
sure, no,
27, so
I'm saying like
he can get away with that. If he was 38, I'd be like, okay, Fritz, I'm a
no
little
doubt.
worried
But
about.
if Taylor were to play that card, I would have understood it a little, because
Yeah,
man, like it was a long way to get here. Those two, that's usually a death sentence, but good to him to get to the semis. But with Novak, it wasn't like that. It was a relative breeze to get here. So I kind of came to the realization today he'll never win another slam. And unless like something crazy would have to break, but like he's not beating those guys at these slams anymore because you're going to face them so late where there's going to be a totality on his body. I think he kind of is accepted that, and he's going to give it a shot because why not? He's having fun. His family loves going to these tournaments. His kids are obsessed with it. So there's no reason to stop as long as he doesn't suffer like a major injury, which doesn't seem like he did. Just a nagging almost. But yeah, he was outplayed. It's tough to gauge how good Sinner was because Novak was truly a step behind. On the other side, though, I thought Fritz played great. The second set was nearly perfect. Carlos had a horrific service game to give that away and allow for our over to hit, which was very nice of him.
Yeah.
But sadly enough for Fritz, outside of that first service game of the match, I really don't know how much better he could have played. Obviously, he has 2 set points at the end of the fourth set, but that's how Carlos does, man. He just pulls out of his ass, and he won't give up, and he's relentless. Carlos kind of played his B game today. I didn't think he was all that great, to be honest with you. He just, when it mattered, he kind of just took that jump, but he was kind of coasting for a little bit. After the second set, it was a lot of people were just like, "What's going on here? Where's the intensity? This is you for a semi." But I think he just knew. I don't think he was really worried about this match. But credit to Taylor, he played great. And he probably did deserve to get to that 5th set. But I just don't know I don't know if he has that extra gear to just pull this off. I like to think he does. Maybe after, I'm saying that stupidly. Probably after the second set, I convinced myself he did have a chance to win. So,
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I wish it went to a 5th set. I think it deserved to go to 5th set. Carlos is just that good to stop it right there and not let the bleeding, continue anymore. So yeah, then that leads us into the final where, you got Carlos. He's rattled off 24 matches in a row. He's won 20 alone at Wimbledon in a row. He's won
Ridiculous.
2 straight Wimbledon titles, going for the 3-peat. He's won 5 straight versus Sinner. The last time he got beat, I believe, was in Barcelona in 2023 by Jannik. So that's a number that's being talked about. And obviously, if you make that 6 and you make the slam count 6-3, then we're having conversations here like, does Jannik have a mental block here? That would happen if he were to win. I feel like is there just a dominance here by Carlos over him where he just gets to this extra level that no one even can fathom. And on the other side, you've got Jannik, who has become one of 5 guys since the 90s to make a final in all 4 slams. Yeah. Carlos hasn't done that in Australia, obviously. And Jannik, I wrote this in the blog today, but grass is his worst surface, at least performance-wise, right? But I think 99% of the tour would kill their entire bloodline to play like he does on grass. Because really, really good grass player. It just hasn't really, but it's happening now. He's in the slam. He's in the final. Now, did he get some luck to get this point? Absolutely. Because let's say, I think we were messaging during it, but I think we both wouldn't have been shocked if Grigor lost that match in 5, if Sinner just turned it on, because that's just how tennis works, right? It doesn't matter how you do in the sets. It just matters if you just reset at the perfect time. And Grigor, physically, we've seen this before. Straight slams where he's literally gotten hurt. So it wouldn't have shocked me if Sinner pulled it off. But obviously, he didn't even have to try. It was just handed to him. He didn't have to. That was Novak's chance, right? In my mind, that was Novak's shot. He doesn't.
Oh, if it's Grigor and Djokovic, no, I think.
I'm not even saying that. I agree. I agree there.
I go with Novak there.
For sure, favorite Novak. I'm saying if Novak doesn't pick up that injury in the quarters and Sinner is forced to come back down 2-0, so he spends 4 hours. Now he's tired going into the semis, whereas Novak is, not, and full health. That was Novak's shot. It didn't happen. Yeah. It was the exact opposite. Novak got hurt, and Sinner got the free pass to get through. So Sinner, in my mind, has gotten lucky to this point, but he's also played very well. He was striking the ball like a monster in the semifinal. So I think the odds are reflective. I was talking about before with some people, I thought it was going to be Carlos minus 175.
175, you thought? I thought 150 was going to be generous.
I thought 150 was the floor, and I thought they would have put it at 175 just because the head to head. He's the 2-time defending champ here.
Yeah, but like, what was it in Roland Garros? Wasn't it like almost a pick'em? And that was with Carlos being the defending champion and the head to head last year with all the clay success.
But he's more dominant on grass.
I don't know. That's kind of, but not against Sinner. He also has that loss against Sinner from a couple of years ago. But
3 years ago before Carlos took that jump. I feel like. I don't know. The 130 line shocked me.
But going off that, do you think? I think that's kind of like bait by the books. Like they want people to take Carlitos. I think everybody's going to be on Carlitos.
100%.
And I think it is 50-50. Like Jannik Sinner can 100% win this match.
No. Yeah, what I'm saying is that line to me, that's a Sinner line to me.
Yeah, exactly. I agree.
That is a full respect Sinner line that, like, when I saw that, I kind of took a step back. I was like, whoa. Because I thought 150 lowest. And I wouldn't have been shocked at 175. 130 makes, and this all sounds so minuscule to other people, I'm sure, but it really does matter.
Yeah, these tennis lines tell you a lot for sure. So, it helps you write the narrative of like how you see the match potentially planning out.
100%. So for me, I still am going to be a Carlos guy because one, 2-time defending champ here. I think he takes he locks in an extra gear, obviously in slam finals, and on top of that, against Jannik, he it just takes him to another level. So, and the head-to-head obviously speaks for itself. It's almost like until Jannik beats you in these few years, until that streak ends, I have no reason to believe he can beat you. So that's why I will still back Carlos. I just think it's truly going to be a tight 4-set or 5-set match. This will not end early. There won't be blowout sets. But it would not shock me at all if Jannik pulls it out.
Yeah, I understand that. And my initial take on this final was how they're both serving, because Sinner has been absolutely dominant on serve. He has not been offering up any breaks, where Carlos, it feels like he's been working out his serve. That's why he was dropping sets early in the tournament. He's clearly put an emphasis on serving well in Wimbledon because you want those free points on grass. So he's been working out the kinks. And as a tennis player, like, you don't want to be overthinking one aspect of your game because that's when it tends to miss. Mm-hmm. And especially in this very high pressure, high stakes final where one mistake is the set. Like grass, you get very few chances.
Yeah.
And that's where, it came down for Taylor Fritz today is he had chances. Like he got himself, and he is the type of talented player where he got chances to extend that match against Carlos Alcaraz. And we were on the over, and that was like my biggest play and my most favorite play of the tournament because I trusted Fritz holding serve. Yep. And if you told me that match started with Taylor Fritz giving up an opening break, I said, over's dead. Over's dead.
I was at the point where if you told me we're not getting a tie break in our favor, we're done. Like, I never thought we'd get a pre-tiebreak set in our favor after that early. Like, I was like, oh boy, Taylor's nervous. But to his credit, he locked in and he kept that to one break. And then he was serving like a maniac in that second set.
Yeah,
and he served great the whole match. It just, it was a few points just didn't go his way. I think Carlos has served pretty well overall for the against Rublev. I feel like he was locked in. Nori, I don't think Nori poses any threat to him in any situation.
Yeah, no.
So, but Rublev, I thought he was pretty good on serve there. Yeah, and you're right, Jannik. You did say like Jannik's been great on serve, hasn't been giving up breaks. Grigor did take 2 sets off.
True.
I think people are forgetting about that.
Yeah, but that's true. And maybe I think the
Grigor
elbow
was outplaying him.
He was. Grigor was playing unbelievable. He easily could have won that match if he didn't tear his pectoral muscle, which was so tragic. And yes, that is an indictment on Sinner. And it's a little, Djokovic wasn't 100%, so this win is a little deceiving, so that's a good point.
So if you're painting it, you can paint it however you want, right?
Yeah, true. You can pick whatever narrative you want to choose, because it could go either way.
At the end of the day, these guys are 1 and 2 in the world, and there's a giant drop off after that. Is considering what we're looking at Novak, and after Novak, there's an even more giant drop off. So like they're pretty even. You're really looking at the margins here to find an edge. Like at the end of the day, you can paint it however you want, but when you're painting it, you're stretching it because the other guy's really, really good. So if you're painting it in the Carlos fashion, you'd be like, you know what, Sinner was down 2-0, and then he beat a helpless Novak. And if you're painting it Carlos' side, it's like Fritz could have won this match today. So there's a lot of different ways, and that's why I think it's pretty close to even.
I agree. And it's such an interesting dynamic going from the slow clay where the topspin and the physicality is rewarded in those long exchanges. And now we're doing a complete 180 on a very slick grass surface where it's hard to move. You get a lot of free points and advantage off hitting a high percentage of first serves and coming to the net. And Carlos gets a little bit more from his drop shot. And he's also one of the best movers. Sinner, I think he has leveled up throughout the years with his physicality and movement because he knew he had to go against Carlos if it gets down into these longer matches. So I think, Sinner, he's serving incredible, and he is also 6'4". And I think his first ball strike gets a little bit more than Carlos on grass, to be honest. That's why I like to go Sinner. I think he literally... Djokovic tried to come to net. He tried to mix it up. He tried to do what Grigor was doing.
Yeah.
He didn't have the movement, but Sinner was also putting the ball wherever he wanted on either his forehand or backhand. So it really, Carlos does make that difficult with his injection of pace and spin too. But I don't know. I just trust Jannik with his weapons and his ability to be a more consistent server, where I think, and his nerves too. He's been so machine-like. It's been a little different when he's played Carlos. But I gotta back my boy here. I think Jannik can do this. And you said before about the slam count. If Carlos wins this, what happens if Jannik wins it?
No,
it's now 5-4 going into 2 hardcourt slams where Sinner's the deserving favorite in both of those. So what can happen? These results, we're at the point in these guys' career where they step on court and history is being made. And these results matter a lot because in 1 year's time, we could be going into Roland Garros if Sinner wins U.S. Open, wins Australia, and now it's can he win 4 in a row if he wins Wimbledon too? So it could be 6-5 Sinner too. So
or this could be, or it's Carlos takes 6-3 and he's won the U.S. Open before. This could stretch. It goes both ways. The difference between 6-3 and 5-4 is massive.
Is huge.
Now, in the grand scheme of things, it probably doesn't mean a whole lot because they're both going to win a ton of slams throughout their career, and they're both so young in the career, and they're both scarily not even at their potential. I just hope for a non-injury final, and it amazes everybody. It'll be on even later than the French Open was. This is an 11 a.m. start, I believe.
That's incredible.
So that will get even more people roped in. I think it benefits Carlos. I just checked the weather, that there's good weather, so the roof will be open. I think if it was closed, that very much favors Sinner. Another reason why
Novak lost
in the Grigor match that was headed his way is when they just closed the roof when it was nice out.
That was definitely part of it. That's why we both were hey, he could just serve his way through this, and Grigor's eventually just going to give him a set, and then all of a sudden Sinner has momentum.
The roof, the odds should have just completely swung at that point, but they didn't. But that won't happen here. The roof will be open, which benefits Carlos. I don't know. I stick with my pick, but I'm more uneasy about it than I was the French for whatever reason. For a lot of what you're saying, the odds, how Jannik has looked today against Novak, and Carlos just I don't know. He has. The Fognini match was weird to start the tournament. He wasn't just locked in there. Maybe it's because they're boys. Yeah, we'll see, man. I don't know what the over is, but I would take it. If it's in the 39, 40 and a half range, I'm sure it is.
I think it's probably going to be 40 and a half, considering the line is so close.
I'd take it. You'll probably get a tiebreak for one of those sets at least. So, I'd feel pretty confident there. I may just actually lean that way and take it. It was so nice once Fritz won that set today. It was just over as long as no one got bageled. What more can you ask for as a tennis fan? And if you're trying to grow the sport, you almost think they're rigging it at this point because that this is what we need.
Well,
But no, it's just how good they are.
yeah, and tennis is just one of those sports where the better guys do win. Like it's really hard to beat somebody better than you when you play tennis. Like I lose to my friend Dave all the time because he's 6'3" and plays tennis 8 hours and is shredded. So there's not much I could do against them when he's just better than me.
Someone
But
posted in the tennis Reddit. I'm gonna try and pull it up real quick, but it's like it was a chart of like I might not be able to find it, but it was just like who's won every men's slam for the last like 8 years or 9 years, and it's just here it is. It's just so funny how few people have won slam since 2017. Like it's just the same cast of characters.
yeah,
It's Roger, it's Rafa, it's Novak, it's Team, it's Medvedev, it's Carlos, it's Sinner, and that's it. There's nobody like it's great because like when someone does break through like a Medvedev, it's really cool for that person.
yeah,
It can seem boring because man, we're just getting one or the other, one of these three guys. But I don't know, man. It just shows you how good those guys truly are, and we are in it again. We are back into the Federer Nadal era. It's just a new era of these two guys just killing each other. We'll see if Fonseca can put it together in a few years. He's not there yet, obviously. But for now, yeah, this is it, man. If we don't get this, it means probably an injury happened in a slam.
yeah. And I think you're right. People, the the sports fans, not really the tennis fans, will just be like, oh, they win every year. But it's also guaranteeing an incredible final. And that's what the Roland Garros final taught people is, hey, when these guys play, like, clear your schedule. You're going to set aside 3 hours because their encounters, yes, Alcaraz has been the victor in all of the recent ones, but those matches are 50-50. Like, a couple balls go Jannik way, and it's easily like 2-3, 3-2. Like, it's not like those matches were blowouts, and that's why it's so exciting every time these guys play. And also to that point, like they're to the point of dominance where we remember their losses way more than their wins. And that's what it's about Djokovic, like why Stan Wawrinka beating him in like the 2015 Roland Garros final is like my favorite match of all time, is because like that was the day Stan slayed the dragon, or like when they played in Australia and like all those times they lost, like that's also like what people remember, but it's also just a testament to how good these guys are, and sustainable success is really incredible. But yeah, this is box office TV on Sunday, and I can't wait, Hubs.
I can't wait. It's
I'm
gonna be
gonna
great.
go Sinner in the over. I think you have to go for the over and root for a good match. Why would you not? On grass when these guys are holding and serving and playing like they are, and also just being a sports fan and wanting to root for a good match. But yeah, it's gonna be really incredible. And any final thoughts to end this year?
No, I was happy actually. I nearly did the over after winning the Carlos over. I nearly did the Djokovic over just because like I thought maybe he can grab a set, and then I couldn't find it for some reason. It's almost like it was a godsend, and then Sinner -1.5 sets jumped out. I was like, oh, okay, I'll take him to win 3 or 4, no problem, and he wins in three. But for this one, that's a danger. Don't do that. Take
Yeah,
I would the safe play is the over, and you just enjoy a bunch of great tennis and stuff that'll make your jaw drop. There will be a ton of star power there. Leo was there today, with Rami Malek. I'm sure it's going to be that on steroids on
yeah.
Sunday. I had a buddy from work who was going to be over there, and he was like thinking about going, and I don't think he realized that the tickets are
Oh
$25,000.
yeah. No, it's actually insane. My friend is also over there. He's like, yeah, I had to only go to like the beginning rounds.
He was like down to pay Super Bowl prices because it's so cool, like an event to do. But then he was like, wait, it's 5 times Super Bowl prices.
Oh yeah, it's unreal because people will actually pay that price. But
Yeah,
yeah,
and it's
it's
like I mean, it's their I mean, I guess soccer is their NFL, but like tennis is a giant deal
oh
there. Like those, like
big.
everything stops for, and especially when it's these guys now, where it's Fed Nadal 2.0. So
Oh
no,
yeah,
man, it's beautiful. It's great for tennis. This is a great way to grow the game. Is if these guys are just killing each other out there. I hope for an epic, as you do too. We're on different sides, but at the end of the day, we're both rooting for it to just be great, just so we can gain more tennis fans.
definitely, definitely Hubs. Thanks for coming on. This is a blast as always talking tennis with you. I really can't wait. I'm sure if you want to come back on and talk after the match, we could always do that. because it's going to be a lot of storylines. And once we find out who wins, it's going to be completely different outlook for the rest of the season. So I love where the state of tennis is at, and it's only going to get better as we go along here. So thanks for coming on again. Everybody go follow Barstool Hubs. Subscribe if you guys are listening and enjoying our tennis content this Wimbledon. Great talking tennis, and keep double faulting out there.